Hello, good evening. And what issues are women expecting political parties to address in their manifestos? And will their policies promote social inclusion? We have all of these and more on Mission tonight. My name is Josephine Frempong. Now, our first story, a women's rights advocacy group, Abantu for Development, has tasked political parties to demonstrate more commitment to the demands of the Women's Manifesto. Dr. Rose Mensah-Kutin says majority of the demands in the manifesto have not been implemented 13 years after the document was launched.
The Women's Manifesto is a product of concern about the insufficient attention given to critical themes affecting women. Initiated by Abantu for Development and launched in 2003, the manifesto outlines a range of strategies geared towards improving the participation of women at all levels of governance, promotion of gender equality, and sustainable development. The document also serves as an agenda plan for candidates elected into district assemblies and parliament, and an assessment mechanism that will be applied to promote political party accountability.
The Women's Manifesto is a political non-partisan document which gives a recipe of issues that must be implemented within the context of Ghana to promote women's rights. Since it's a civil society initiative, it doesn't have legal status. But because of the consultative nature of the document, it has a sense of ownership among Ghanaians. To that end, political parties recognize that it is in their own interest also to use a document of this nature.
The Executive Director of Abantu for Development, Dr. Rose Mensah-Kutin, outlines some of the achievements of the manifesto 13 years after its inception. She explained a lot of work needs to be done in order to implement all the components of the Women's Manifesto.
If we talk about the domestic violence law, even these, the spousal bill and the changes in the intersex succession are all mentioned in the Women's Manifesto. The Disability Act was mentioned before it was passed, but several others are the same. If you take the disability law, for instance, many of the issues that were mentioned in the manifesto have still not been implemented.
She laments political parties have not given sufficient attention to themes in the manifesto.
Each of the political parties in principle tout the fact that they are committed to women's rights. The only problem is that commitment and real action is very slow. What we have done this year is actually to look back after more than 10 years of its use to see how far we have come. So we are producing a second edition.
In the lead up to the elections, gender advocacy groups expect political parties to tailor their manifestos to meet the demands of the Women's Manifesto.
Now, the Director General of the National Development Planning Commission, Dr. Nimoy Thompson, has tasked political parties to fashion out realistic programs in their manifestos for easy integration into long-term national development planning.
The National Development Planning Commission launched a 40-year development plan to chart a path for Ghana's long-term development plan. The plan is based on the 1992 Constitution and the aspirations of Ghanaians as expressed during nationwide consultations, which also involved political parties. Director General of the National Development Planning Commission, Dr. Nimoy Thompson, expects political parties to craft their manifestos within the parameters of development goals. He cautioned that political parties must make realistic promises in their manifestos in the run-up to the elections.
So now they are not really bound by the long-term national development plan, but it's equally good for them to be realistic, because what happens is that we are now in the middle of the current medium-term plan, which started in 2014 and ends in 2017. The next one starts in 2018, which coincides with the beginning of the implementation of the long-term national development plan. So whichever government wins the elections this year will next year have to start preparing for the next plan. It is then that they will have to confront the targets that we are proposing in the long-term national development plan.
This, he maintained, would enable a seamless integration of manifestos into Ghana's long-term development plan.
The manifestos do come out. We'll certainly take a look at them, where we find that there are some synergies between them and what we're doing. Certainly, we will incorporate them into the long-term national development plan. And hopefully, when the long-term national development plan is completed, they will also have the presence of mind to incorporate whatever comes in there. But we're waiting. I'm sure there are good things in the various manifestos that can go into the long-term national development plan.
The plan is expected to run between 2018 and 2057, when Ghana will turn 100.
Well, that's it for Mission Tonight. Join us same time tomorrow on News 360. But up next is the weather. My name is Josephine Frempong.